All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders in tonight's video. So, first preseason game happened this past weekend. 24-23 road loss to the Minnesota Vikings this past Saturday. Obviously, not a single soul on earth, whether you're a Vikings or Raiders fan or any NFL fan, is concerned about the result of that loss, or the game, I should say, but neither here nor there. One thing was for certain to me, and it's something I've been saying the entire summer: Aiden O'Connell's starting quarterback. I really don't think it's that deep. We've been talking about this quarterback competition. Oh my goodness, Gardner Minshew had a good day, Aiden had a bad day. Then the next day, Aiden had a good day, Gardner had a bad day. Then the next day, they both had good days. Then the next day, they both had bad days. It's just annoying. And I'm glad that we're going to have the confirmation that Aiden O'Connell's the starting quarterback relatively soon. It really shocked me after the first preseason game how many people thought Gardner Minshew was by far the best quarterback that played in that football game. I did not see it that way. Granted, everyone has their opinion. I'm not saying Gardner didn't play a decent football game. But if Aiden O'Connell loses the starting job, folks, we have to have a discussion about the future of the quarterback position for the Raiders. That's just fact at the end of the day. Aiden O'Connell drove the team 83 yards in 15 plays. Now, unfortunately, he took a third down sack, but it's just crazy how that one bad play, like obviously Aiden wasn't perfect, Gardner wasn't perfect either. It's just crazy how it's become this like division between Raiders fans of just like, none of it's logical, and we're going to just talk about all of it. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Raiders and NFL content. If we could get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. And also, guys, let me know who your starting quarterback is week one after just the first preseason game, because I really think the job's already been decided. If Antonio Pierce and the Raiders organization is coming out here and saying, we're going to name the quarterback after this upcoming game, somebody's winning it. All right. Now, Gardner Minshew did a really good job. He came in for the second quarter. He led 2 touchdown drives. He hit DJ Turner for a beautiful 20-yard over-the-shoulder catch in the end zone on the first touchdown. But once again, Aiden O'Connell just had one possession. And the entire summer we've been saying on this channel that, all right, Gardner can have a good practice day. Aiden can have a bad practice day. We could do this the whole freaking summer. All I care about is preseason. That's all I care about. If you're trying to tell me, and by the way, don't bring up, oh, Harrison Smith didn't play, Jonathan Greener didn't play. It's, oh, by the way, it's just preseason, because that doesn't help Gardner's case in any way, shape, or form. The point just stands. Gardner Minshew went 7 for 9, 83 yards, 15 plays. That was the possession. And yes, unfortunately, he took a third down sack. But if we're playing devil's advocate because everyone's saying, oh, Gardner did all of this, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. I love Gardner Minshew, and I think he's the best possible backup quarterback for this organization. But folks, that's why he was brought in, to be the best possible potential backup QB for Aiden O'Connell. We can't sit here. Folks, I've been covering the NFL for a couple of years now, and we do this every single season. And I'm not talking Raiders fans in any way, shape, or form. What I am saying is some quarterback will have a good game, and you'll hear an excuse, good or bad. A different quarterback will have a good game, and then you'll hear the excuse, good or bad. If you take it with a grain of salt, on the first possession of regular season week 1, and your starting quarterback goes down the field for 83 yards on 15 plays and takes a third down sack, is it perfect? No. We don't want a third down sack. What quarterback in the NFL is perfect? Maybe Patrick Mahomes. Neither of the quarterbacks on this roster are Patrick Mahomes. So I have a hard time with the Gardner Minshew hype at this point in time. And I just want to say he played a good game, but there were so many erratic throws in his couple of possessions that just made me say, Aiden's the dude. Like, it was clear as day. I just watched a Raiders YouTuber saying Gardner was clearly the better quarterback. I'm sitting here thinking, like, I just didn't see that. But thankfully, none of us are GMs, none of us are head coaches, and they'll dial it down in less than a week from today. But getting back to a more positive note, because I know there's some division with the quarterback battle here, and there always will be with any positional battle. I found this fascinating article on Bleacher Report, so take it especially with a grain of salt because we're about to make fun of it. This was from, I believe, Alex Ballantyne. I don't want to throw any shade at him, but he clearly's never watched a Raiders game. We're going to go through, he making an article predicting the Raiders' biggest regrets from the 2024 offseason. Number one was taking Brock Bowers over a right tackle in the draft, and here was his explanation. The Raiders are relying on Thayer Munford to take the next step and become the team's starting right tackle. They already had a promising tight end on the roster, Michael Mayer. If Munford struggles to protect the quarterback, the Raiders are going to wish they have reallocated their first-round pick. All right, DJ Glaze exists. All right, I don't think a lot of people know that. Once again, obviously, not talking about Raiders fans here. I don't think national football media realizes who DJ Glaze is. Thayer Munford unfortunately got banged up in today's Raiders practice. He had to miss some time. But we have heard so much hype the entire training camp about DJ Glaze holding his own against Max Crosby. And then he had his first preseason debut and he held his own once again. So I just think it's funny because Michael Mayer, last year's early second-round pick from the Raiders out of Notre Dame, that was ridiculed for the entire season. Once again, folks, this has nothing to do with Raiders journalists, YouTubers, reporters, fans, tweets, anything like that. It's just crazy because Michael Mayer did not have a great rookie season, but all of a sudden he did. Number two is the most obvious one that every single Raiders fan on the planet has been shaking their freaking head at. Not trading Davante Adams. Here's the explanation. Looking back on some of the frustrations that Adams expressed with the Raiders last season on Netflix's Receiver documentary, it's hard to not see more frustrations bubbling in 2024. Real quick, that was Jimmy Garoppolo related. In the series, Adams was frustrated with the offense. With Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew battling for the starting job, there's a good chance there's still going to be some frustration. A 32-year-old Adams is a great player to have if you're aiming for the Super Bowl. That's just not where the Raiders are at, and trading him for draft capital would have been potentially helping with a rebuild. So all of a sudden, we're in a rebuild. Now, folks, as far as I'm concerned, the only question mark I have with the Las Vegas Raiders is cornerback 2. That's been settled with Corey Bennett and the starting quarterback. I'm not saying the Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl this upcoming season, but come on. Number 3 kind of goes into number 2, not doing enough to build receiver depth. And it was, talking about Adams is getting into his 30s. If injuries start to become a factor, the Raiders don't have a lot of depth behind him. To a degree, I agree with that. But then we have to bring up Jalen Guyton, and then we also have to bring in Michael Gallup, who retired. So the Raiders brought in receiver depth. One of them ended up retiring, and the other one, is still on the team, is going to make the roster. But I just find it funny. And then, the explanation was this was a very deep class of receivers. You could have got Jermaine Burton or Roman Wilson on day 2 or 3, right? So if the Raiders miss the playoffs and, Davante Adams decides to dip on out of here, can I just draft a receiver in the second or third round this upcoming season if we're quote unquote in a rebuild? I know that was a little bit pessimistic of an article to record for today, but I just wanted to make a Raiders video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Guys, let's prove these people wrong. Give me a win-loss record for the Raiders down below.